Good evening. I'd like to call this Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It is 6:08. Has the meeting been properly noticed?
It has.
Okay, it appears that...
Sorry. I never read my notes. It's been posted and noticed according to law.
All right, good. That's usually what I get. I don't have a sheet notes. So it looks like all trustees are present, and we will move right in. I just want to remind everyone to please speak into the microphones, as we have cut our second microphone from the budget to save some funds. So it's important that we speak directly into it so people from the video can hear. Our first item for discussion is 5A, to discuss the bids 2019 operating plan. I see the bid director and bid members and president are here. So Erica, or do you want to say anything?
Oh, I didn't know, I thought committee of whole, sorry.
Oh.
So, not much has really changed. This is a template, our operating plan, we just changed the numbers, but in response to some previous discussions with President Rosick, we added some more information this year. So basically, it gives you a history of when the bid was formed and the bid members, who's on it, and we put terms in there, and then what our mission is, and our goals, and that basic information. As an appendix, it shows all the properties that are within the bid district that is provided by the finance director here at the village, and then I look at it, and I for convenience sake for everyone, I added a column so that kind of names the use, not the use, the business that is in each parcel, just to give people a better idea what parcel is that. I did add the 2019 proposed bid events to the operating plan, because we already know the dates. So we have 4 large events this year. Let's see. Then we give the outline of the budget that the bid adopted. The bid assessment actually did change, but a few dollars, that was it. Some went up for the parcels and some went down. And actually in the first attachment that was all assessment of parcel, I bolded the ones that are different from 2017, and I kept the 2017 in there if you're curious.
When did the AB data building get removed from the assessments?
Well, that went down, so that's yeah.
Was it this year?
Yeah,
I just
it
remember
was,
March.
I bolded it this year, so it did go down.
So something must have went up, right? To balance it out?
Yeah, I'd have to look at the bold ones to tell you, I just don't remember off the top of my head. So I don't know if you have any questions about income or expenses. It's pretty simple within the operating plan, but we do have a little bit more detailed budget in the appendix C, I believe, at the end. Okay, so it shows the method of assessment. As a reminder to everyone, our assessment is $1 per $1.10 per $1,000 of value of the parcel ID. That is below average of what the state's 84 bids are. I think it's somewhere in the memo what that was. It was 280 or something like that is the average. We've only increased the rate once, and that was in 2016. In 1999, when the bid was formed, it was $1.06. So the board has not discussed at all about raising that rate. So FYI on that. On page 7 of the operating plan, besides just listing the members' names and their terms, we did go beyond and put what the adjusted terms are to accommodate being on the schedule with the village and committee's terms. And then we did note their businesses and original appointments with notes, because there's always seems to be question and confusion, when did this person start and that. So, and I know the village is working on those policies. Let's see. I did think it was important with some changes in process on your end that I add the bid. It's page 8, letter B, that says bid board vacancy process. I just wanted to memorialize how we did it and how it changed per request of the village. So, FYI again on that.
How did it change?
Well, because it changed because I'm having
The application.
Right, so now you take the application at the village level. And then when that time comes, I don't know if that's February of every year, that you're going to funnel all those applications that you received that checked bid. And then if we received interest or we've been proactive and said these would be good too, but we would funnel those people to also fill out an application, all right? So then we would look at, get a nominating committee, and that nominating committee, we would include, the nominating committee would bring it to the bid board to make recommendations, and we would invite you, since you are the appointer of these, appoint the folks, to that meeting to be part of the discussion so you understand why we are recommending a certain candidate for the bid board. Before that, there was no application. We were only proactive in seeking out, looking at who was on the board, where's some gap in the talent and skills and professions, and maybe locations. So, yeah.
And I might add, it would offer some perspective on that too. Oftentimes, we were strong-arming people to try and get them to serve. So we're in the enviable position, at least lately, to have more interest than seats available, so that's good.
And then switching the calendar?
Yes,
Was it
that's
switching
I think
from
that's what changed.
Mm-hmm.
From December to
31st,
May.
right, to May, so we pushed out by 5 months everyone's terms. And that's really it of any changes per previous templates of the operating plan. Any questions?
Yeah, I was looking at the list of properties, 1901 East Capitol, owner Seton Tower, that's listed as AT&T building.
Yep.
Is that the physician's building?
No, that's in the plaza, right
Across
next
the
to
street.
Vego's Pizza, yeah, across the street.
Just
That's less
east
now.
of.
Right, but is it Seton Tower, the owner, or is that Seton Tower, St. Mary's?
You said
I'm just seeing
1901,
where
right?
AT&T is on this, or they are not in the bid.
Right.
First one.
I know, I'm trying to think, I should know this, 1901.
Isn't
No,
it
that
South,
is
it's on
a
the
suggestion, that's a, then I must have put the wrong, because I did that quite quickly, so I must have put the wrong, business on there, so I apologize. But 1901 is on the south side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
Short positions.
Yep, that's what it is. I can certainly make that change before,
Is AT&T in the bid? Or is it not a business?
because that would be right, that's 19, no, it is not.
Has there been any discussion of increasing the rate to cover additional activities or support the planters or do other activities?
Well, see, I've not been formally told about those what your budget's looking like, and I know that Allison and I, President Wilson and I need to do that, and I plan to attend
Just
and look into that.
For a quick update, Rebecca and I did meet with, Trustee McKay, we met with Director Lang, and we did express that there have been some budget changes this year, like some things that might impact the bid. Not a lot this year, it was very minimal, but coming up in future years, if we have the same deficit going into a budget, that we may look to the bid. And I did personally express just my own personal opinion of a rate increase to cover things other than events, meaning to cover costs that we can no longer cover, certainly would be supported by myself, and that's something that you may want to look at in the future. So that conversation has happened, but it hasn't been, there's nothing significant this year, is that correct, Trustee McKay? That was too alarming, it was just more of a heads up, here's what we're looking at coming, going down the line of the
And you
budget.
did say about the snowflakes, that the
Snowflakes.
village will no longer be supporting those, so that is on
This year.
it's on my notes for the 2020 budget to bring that up.
So there, in other municipalities, sometimes when budgets get tough, the bid will step in and do more of the infrastructure, and that might require a rate increase, if that was acceptable to this board and also to the, obviously, the businesses and communities. So, something that we'll continue to discuss as we move forward. Trustee Carpenter?
I just had a question about the map. So, I just want to make sure I'm understanding how it looks. It almost looks like a T sort of, but in that, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it looks like that shopping center up in Wilson is not included in that?
Correct.
They're not, okay. Oh,
What is that?
That shopping center where Little Sprouts and,
Oh, correct. It's not.
but they're on the board?
She's an affiliate member.
Okay.
The state only says that at least 5, you need at least a 5 board member, and that the majority must be within the boundaries of the district.
I would make a motion to approve a resolution number 2018-20. Oh, are we not voting, we're just discussing? Okay.
I have a question about that. I have 3 questions as well before we end, but don't we have to adopt the operating plan?
Yes, we had specifically discussed listing it in the cow for
Okay.
discussion based upon the feedback from last year's review.
Okay.
And then it's going to be coming forth on the November 19th consent agenda. There's no other further.
Okay, thank you. I have 3 questions. So last year, we discussed the tax assessments, and there was some mixed-use buildings, and the zoning was odd. I know that you and Mark have been working on that. Are they all resolved now? Looks like Sherman's out now,
I think they still have a small portion.
but it was
Right,
cheap.
and I know there was various properties last year that he and I went back and forth to make sure. And there was, we made sure the mixed use, that the square footage or the percentage was accurate for the mixed use buildings, because we don't.
I think Sherman was taken out, okay. So you think it's resolved? And then we're talking about dark store legislation with the league, and they always want us to inform the bid. I don't think it's gonna have that much impact on the bid, because our big lot, we have 2, probably Walgreens and Roundy's, and they both are capped at bid assessments of 5,000, which might be different than other communities, but if their assessment goes down based on the challenge for any reason, as in other places, typically that would have an impact. It'll impact the village, because we won't be collecting as much taxes, but it might impact, in the school district and the TIF, but I don't know if it's gonna directly impact you
Probably
because
not,
you're capped.
because they're so high.
So I just,
Yeah.
so you can just help us out with advocating. And then the only thing I also wanted to mention was, thank you for the application process and adjusting that. And thank you for the footnotes of saying that when members are going to be exceeding their term limits. So next, I just wanted to be clear that in May, I will bring forward replacements for anyone that's over their 9 years. So regardless of the,
Is there a policy on that yet? Because I know I've heard that from
We
you
do.
and the village manager. And I'm just,
it's a 1988.
82, I've seen the resolution.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were going, that the board was gonna take people off before their actual term was done.
They don't have to, so we vote on that. I'm just letting.
I don't know what a good time would be to bring that up, but I know that I would advocate for not doing that for our current board, because we have so many new people, and we lose a lot of institutional knowledge if everyone was asked to leave at once.
Got it. Okay. Trustee McKay?
And it seems like it wouldn't have to, if it's talked about in advance, then the bid could put forward names. It could be collaborative as far as
Correct.
if people are replaced. So it wouldn't just have to be the village president.
Absolutely. I've said it in our pre-meeting too. yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to say it again, just because
It
it's not
didn't come
noted.
across that way right now, so I just wanted to make
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. I think we should continue to have discussions before May, so, to make sure that goes smoothly. Trustee Amenta?
I had one budget question. What is the management fees? 11,640.
I asked that same question.
Oh, yeah, that's just.
Right, I called you.
Yeah. Okay. That is both the marketing coordinator, part-time, and my part-time position combined.
I don't think
Isn't
so.
your part-time is,
I don't know, marketing, let me see.
is,
I'm sorry,
I
I'm gonna go to
assume
the back
the
page.
management fee was your position, right? 48,000? So then I was confused about what management fees were.
Management is me. Oh, okay. If you look on the appendix C, that has more details to it. So we,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking
okay, management fees, 11,640.
Yeah.
I did some changes in QuickBooks, and that recognizes hiring of the tour of America of Dairyland bike guys to manage the event. There's no other event is that they'd have someone do that. The staff does it.
So that's the
So
fee
it's
that
just a
you pay,
new category.
but it's the fee you pay to
Total.
Dairyland, right? It's usually around 12 grand.
Yeah, correct.
at. So I noticed there's $1,200 in affiliate memberships. How many affiliate members are there?
We have about 10 right now, and they're annual memberships, and there's just two levels, $75 or $150.
Because I know we talked in the past about the number of in-home businesses there are in the village. And I think last year you mentioned that there was going to be some attention paid or outreach. Or is there?
There has not been a proactive outreach campaign on that. It's staff time, but it's been very organic. So I think we've gotten 5 new members, 4 new members this year. As I meet people, I tell them about it. It's been in the news, our newsletter that goes out monthly.